Hey, this is Mike.
Hey, this is Kaz, and you are listening to Two Broke Watch Snobs. You have made it all the way to episode 283. Your ears did not deceive you. We have a very interesting story about episode 282. Michael, how are you? Michael, Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year at the end of January.
It's great to finally get down and do the first second episode of the year. The
Second
second
first.
first, the
This is the
second
second
first
first episode. Yeah.
episode of the year. It's been a lot of fun. I think we both had great holiday time away from work, some
Mm-hmm.
vacationing, and we had big plans for the start of the year that were kind of derailed a little bit by YouTube. And we can talk about that today, but I'm excited to record and talk
Then I
about.
had salmonella. That was great.
You
That we
did.
lost a little bit of time
You did. And I think
because of that.
I think that's part of the TBWS storyline. I think we've talked about some watches to wear while you have food poisoning.
Because I do this because every time my wife and I are in a situation where we're like, if I'm trying to figure out if I like something, I have to figure out if I like it in the worst possible scenario. And so what my wife and I did that for with a long time was like when we were house hunting, it was bathrooms. I'm like, oh, this bathroom's kind of cool, but like, will I like it if I have like crippling food poisoning, like puking and shitting at the same time, wishing for sweet death? Will I still like this bathroom? Probably. This is a nice bathroom then. You know what I mean? So like maybe that's where that idea came from. Best
There
watch to have food poisoning with.
there's a YouTube channel in there somewhere. Bathroom reviews for puking in, food poisoning review of my
Didn't
master
John
bathroom.
Mayer used to take pictures of urinals on the road? Wasn't that like a thing
Yeah,
he did on Tumblr or something like
he
that
he.
forever ago?
I
Long
think it
time
was
ago.
I think it was Tumblr era. He would review urinals, which is pretty funny. I like that.
That's great. But no, this is in true Two Book Watch Snobs fashion. We are starting the new year by totally burning the entirety of January and starting the new year in basically about February, I
Yeah,
think, at this point. For recording purposes. Now, Michael and I have been doing a lot of things behind the scenes, but I think there's a lot of explanation required, and really we're going to do this. I'm going to name the episode and then we're going to get on with it. So episode 283 of the Two Book Watch Snobs podcast is thusly named Holiday Watch Spotting and the Tale of the Lost Episode. Okay. And then feelings. There's going to be lots of feelings.
very very intriguing. I like it.
Lots of feelings as well. I feel like we need to do like a Hardy Boys cover where like we're walking down some like old stone steps and I have a flashlight and like and you're holding like a map and you're like holding it up or something like that. That'd be fucking
like
rad, dude.
I like it.
Remember when stuff was cool? Like not anymore, but like before now when stuff used to be cool.
I think about it a lot, actually.
A lot.
Yeah, maybe we're just not cool.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'd rather be old cool than whatever the fuck is cool now, bro. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But we should that's beside the point. We should do this. We should honor tradition for the first time in 2025. Would you like to do an audio wrist check with me?
Let's do it. I think we both have some fun pieces on today. Should I go first?
Do it.
Cool. Yeah. So I actually don't think I've shared this one on the show before. Let me see if I can pull up. It's kind of weird. There isn't a lot out there about this watch, but today
Cool.
today I'm wearing the Citizen Nighthawk, but I'm specifically wearing the Asia market specific version, the stay with me here, the BJ 7019-62E. And
Some people grow up out of the Blink-182 era, but I don't think you and I ever did. I can't see the letters B and J without going
sorry.
BJ. No, I did the same thing too. Can we talk about your search engine real quick?
Yeah.
Do you like DuckDuckGo?
I don't like
Okay.
it. I don't like it all that much. It can be kind of dumb. But
But here we are.
yeah, here we are.
That's all good.
Some people might remember that I used to have the USA, or I guess the maybe international market version of the Citizen Nighthawk. We talked about it with TJ when he
Mm-hmm.
was on the show as one of the, top pilot watches that we recommend. And I got rid of that watch a little while ago, missed it, and I figured if I was going to take something in that was similar, I would try to go with a different model. So I got this from Japan, through
Nice. How'd you get it?
eBay,
Sweet.
just
Fuck
eBay.
yeah.
And I actually didn't know there are a ton of versions of the Citizen Nighthawk, by the way.
Yeah.
There's even a titanium version that's super rare, which would make sense for a watch this big. But this one is just all blacked out. And one of the cool things about it is this. I don't know if you can really see it in this picture. That's a horrible picture. Great.
Mm-hmm. It's not a good picture. What was it? What specifically are we going to be focusing on? The bracelet or the clasp?
So we're gonna look at the back.
Back. Okay.
Yeah. So the Citizen Nighthawk, the international one, is kind of just this flat case back, but this one is engraved, and it's got that Eco Drive globe and everything.
Cool.
Just a nice little touch. I don't actually wear it on this huge bracelet. I always tell myself that the bracelet on the Nighthawk is going to work for me, but it never does. So
What is it,
I
like
have
24 millimeter lug width? What is the thing?
22. So
22 is okay. It looks
I
good though on what you got it.
yeah, this is the oldest toxic NATO that I have. So, and one of the only 20
yeah.
one of the only 22s that I have. I am thinking about pairing it with a Barton rubber strap with matching hardware. I think that'll be a cool look. But other than that, it's the typical Citizen Nighthawk. You have the dual time layout with the planes on that hand that kind of cycle through AM and PM. And ever since, I don't want to say he ruined the watch for me, but after TJ brought up that point about the GMT planes being covered up by the big sword hands, I do kind of notice like, if I wanted to look at the second time zone, it could be a bit of an issue at a quick glance. So
Right.
still, I think it's one of the best affordable GMT complication watches out there. Again, I've confirmed that it's not for me on the bracelet, but it's just been a great watch to spend time with, and I like, a little selfishly, that it's a little bit different than the vast majority of Nighthawks that you see. I am curious about the titanium version, but they're apparently pretty tough to get.
Yeah, there's nothing selfish about it. I mean, there are certain segments of watch collecting which do reward you for wanting to go a step further than your just traditional, I'm just going to buy this directly from the USA store or this directly from Amazon. Like, you did a little bit of research, you found a variation you hadn't noticed, and then you just bought it on eBay. And that's cool.
And I think it also helps me justify the rebuy, because I've done this with the turtle and like the 40 different types that I've owned. I technically didn't rebuy it because I got the JDM version, or I got the international version, or I got this version with the marker that's a little bit different, or now it's different if I get it again because it comes with a Cyclops, or it's just
different.
It's just a lot of negotiating with myself to try to make sense of the things that I do for this hobby.
So is the wearing experience better on a NATO versus the bracelet because there's just less material?
Yeah, dude, it's so much. I would literally have to be a gorilla psychopath at the gym to like pull this thing off, and it's heavy. Again, maybe that titanium version would make a little bit more sense if you want it on the bracelet, but when you pair this, I did have the old one on a Barton, and that was a cool combo, but NATO or rubber, or some of them come on leather. I'm sure that's a nice combo too, but yeah, I'm not wearing this thing on the bracelet.
Gotcha. I hear that. Yeah. So is it pretty thick? Is it pretty top heavy too?
It's not top heavy when I get it on nylon. It's much more balanced overall. I think with the bracelet's kind of teetering side to side throughout the day and pulling the watch in different directions. I think that adds to the top heaviness. But otherwise, it's a quartz watch at the end of the day, so it's going to be super light, and depending on the strap situation, that's what's really going to change it overall.
Do you remember the period of time when those things were like unavailable? Not that specific model, but like there used to be able to get like a Citizen Nighthawk on Amazon super easily, and then they were just gone, and then they were sort of available, but they were super expensive. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that did happen, and I'm not sure actually if it got any better on Amazon, but let's take a look here. Citizen.
I'm trying not to like drink into the microphone, so you like hear me like glugging. If you hear me glugging, let me know.
It's okay. Well, there is one on Prime for $222.
Okay, that's not bad. That's actually not bad.
But they did get up there. I think they did break 300 at some point, which is like a little. I'm not too sure. But overall, I'm really glad that there's one back in the collection. I love the aviation, just the complexity of the dial theme. There's so much information that I'm never going to use. But at least it's easy to tell the time. It's easy to tell the time. And I've started my year really appreciating EcoDrive a little bit more because, we talked about the stuff that we've been doing on the site and looking at articles and things that we've done, and solar watches is part of that recently. And I did see those photos of the EcoDrive ProMaster that I reviewed a long time ago. And it's just every time I see that article, I just kind of dig that watch out and I wear it for days and days and days and days. So I actually took that watch off to put this one on for the episode. So I've been kind of cruising on EcoDrive for the most of 2025.
Maybe I'll get an EcoDrive this year. I still don't have one.
You don't have one?
Mm-mm.
Wow. Well, it's a good one to get.
Right.
And those divers they're so good, man. Thank you for that gift. Still, it's such a great watch.
Hell yeah. The thing is cool. I love it. Is that my turn? My turn for wrist check?
Yeah. What do you got?
I'm wearing my Orient Christmas Chrono. I don't know how well that's coming across on the screen. Super similar story. I mean, like, I bought this watch on eBay. Don't go to eBay.com. I don't know what that website is, but eBay. I bought this on eBay. Honestly, I think a few years back now. It's JDM. I think it's a limited edition to 1,000 pieces. I think that it's JDM. They made it to commemorate, I think, Christmas in Japan in 2016. I bought this thing, and I think that must mean I must have bought it in like 2017, I think, or something like that. I can't quite remember. Oh, Mike's pulling up on the site now. There it is. Oh, I love that photo. I have that on some old printer filament that I had, and that is actually also on a toxic Shiznit.
Oh,
in the photo.
I forgot about that series. Yeah, that's true.
But I love this watch. I think it's great. Also, solar is a solar chronograph. It's unique in the Orient lineup, in that Orient doesn't really do solar watches, let alone solar chronographs, and Orient's known for using in-house movements. And so if you go and check out the piece, we have a piece on the site about the Christmas Chrono. It talks to a little bit of the detective work that went into figuring out, like, this is basically a Seiko solar movement that's in here as part of the Orient 70s chronograph series. So but that's what I'm wearing now. I haven't worn it in a little bit, and I just, here in Florida, so obviously it's January 26th. We're recording this 2025. This, January in particular, people have been getting bombarded by cold. This weather is nuts.
Yeah.
Here in Florida, we've also been getting that cold. And so, some parts of the Gulf got snow, like up in the northern part of the Panhandle, like there's like pictures of like snow like in the Gulf of Mexico. It's crazy.
I thought that was an exaggeration at first, and I thought there's no way. And then I did see some footage of like snow mixed in with the sand on the beach. That's what I was like.
Dude,
whoa.
here in Sarasota, it got down to like 33, 34 last night.
That's like up here.
I was like, if I go out and like spray the hose, well, like it turned to snow. Isn't that what Like that's like Floridian snow logic, because like I still don't really understand how snow works. I know it falls from the sky or something. I'm not entirely sure, but like but it's okay. So this story was going. In addition to the cold we've been getting here in Florida, dude, only until like today, for 2 weeks now since we got back from our cruise, which we'll talk about, I have not seen the sun.
Mm.
Like it has just been like it remind like I went to the grocery store a couple days ago, and it was like in the 40s, and it was kind of like gray, and it was sort of drizzling, and I got out of my car and immediately flipped my hoodie up, and I buried my hands in my pockets, and I just kind of walked to the front of Publix with my head down. And I look up, and everyone's doing the same thing as me, and everyone just for some reason looks 5 years older and like pissed. And I had this odd moment of like deja vu, and I'm like, oh my god, am I back in New York?
I was about
Like
to say,
this
yeah,
fucking legitimately feels exactly like I'm back on Long Island.
yeah.
You know,
That's what it sounded like as you were telling that.
there's
That's
just like a
crazy.
weird moderate level of everyone's just kind of pissed off right now, just in the air. And I'm like, oh god, I'm back in New York. How weird. And so today is the first day in a long time we've actually had the sun. I see the sky is blue. I feel better. I got like birds and shit like singing or whatever. You know what I mean? Kind of. And so I just felt inspired to wear my Christmas chrono, just because it has also not seen the sunlight as a solar chronograph in a long time. So
Was it having trouble with like the seconds
it's doing the
hand
double tick. It was doing the double
switching?
tick.
Yeah.
Please, sir, can I have some more sunlight? Like,
It doesn't
no.
it doesn't take long. It really doesn't take
Mm.
long with these movements. I think this Nighthawk was doing it for a little bit, and I think it was in a weird in between state where it would try to go second by second, and then it would decide like, wait, no, I can't do that, and then it would do the
This
jump.
is like dying is like pray for Mojo. It's just like
I thought for a second that I broke it or something, and I thought, oh man, this would really suck. But yeah, just windowsill for like, half an hour or something.
yeah. I
totally
went on a
fine.
golf cart ride with my son, and I was just wearing it. And it was great. So, but that's what I'm
amazing
wearing.
technology. Amazing technology when you really think about it.
I mean, people talk about like Gata watches and like, oh, what's the best watch for just like everyday wear? I don't want to fuss with, blah, blah, blah. And you'll get like bristling neckbeards climbing over themselves trying to talk about Seikos or just save up for the sub, man. Dude, just spend $200 or $300 on a solar watch that you like, preferably a Citizen Eco Drive. And no lie, if you like the way the watch looks, that will probably be your watch for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's there's no sense of like trying to figure out, scouring Reddit threads to find the one sage-like piece of advice that'll guide you to the exact specific watch. Just spend $200 or $300 on a Solar Citizen and you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you just want to watch.
when I was
You know?
when I was traveling, when I traveled to Miami, one of the people I met up with was he's kind of like a friend of the family, like an additional grandfather type figure. He's a neurosurgeon that my mom worked with for a really long time. And one of the things I'll always remember about him is that he had a big Citizen watch. And I remember like the adults talking about Citizen, and like how it's solar or whatever. And he still had it. And just the one funny thing about it, he still has it. He's kept it forever, but he never sized it. His thing was that he just bought it and he put it on. So it would always
just jangles everywhere.
I have memories of it like just jangling everywhere and up and down his arm and stuff. And,
Yeah.
That's a dude that could afford like any watch basically. But yeah, he just held on to that thing forever. They really are great watches.
Hell yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe this year I'll get one. Maybe I think last episode, or no, we'll talk about last episode. I think a couple episodes ago, we're talking about the history of like Disney, like the Mickey Mouse watch and like Disney image licensing for timepieces and things like that.
Yeah.
And like the current Citizen lineup of watches is really cool. I saw there's some really fun Mickey Mouse watches currently kind of like in the design catalog. So maybe I'll grab one this year. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe.
But that's my wrist check. That's
I will
You
also
know,
say that the last time I was down there in Florida, I did try that watch on, and the thing that surprised me the most was, even though it's a light quartz watch, and
Mhm.
some people would argue that, like, oh, the bracelet is not super hefty or whatever, the experience, something about the experience, and it might have to do with just the looks overall and the finishing, the experience felt way more premium than I thought it would putting that watch on.
It's really balanced. Sometimes if you'll get like something where maybe the bracelet's cheap, or maybe there's something about XYZ, blah blah blah. But like the whole thing feels very balanced. My microphone keeps jiggling, and I don't really know what to do about that.
It's okay.
The it's just like shaking in my face, like, oh, sorry if that was loud. Something about the experience does give you that effect of like, yeah, it feels like something that is. I paid $200 for this. I paid like $250 for this thing, purchased anonymously on eBay.
Mhm.
Again, we were just talking about that with your Nighthawk, and so yeah, every time I put this watch on, it's one of those core collection pieces where I'm just like, yeah, feels right, good.
I love those random JDM eBay purchases where you're like, I guess maybe I'll get the package at some point, or get a customs duty bill for like more than the watch or something.
I'll say this: I think in the early days of my vintage Soviet watch collecting, I think all fears and all crazy stories have already just come and gone for me just by purchasing
Yeah.
some of those, like former Soviet bloc like packages. Like you order because I used to, for people that don't who've just joined the show now, like I really into vintage Soviet timepieces. So timepieces, around the time periods of 1913 to 1991 in the Soviet Union, and it's just funny because sometimes in the early days I would buy something, and it's not the most efficient post. Like if it's coming from like Bulgaria or like something, like it's not like, you know what I mean. Like months would go by,
Yeah.
and eventually would be at my front door, and like I forgot I ordered it, and it's got a bunch of like stamps from countries that were dissolved 20 years ago, and I'm like, where the fuck have you been, dude? You know what I mean?
Oh boy. Yeah.
Un-
Wild West.
unlike unlike my experience purchasing through Seiya Japan, wherever Seiya Japan is, I hope you're on a beach somewhere, sir, just sipping a cocktail. But
The
like,
site is still locked, man. I
yeah,
went yesterday, actually.
yeah.
I was looking at kind of weird new versions of the Seiko 5 GMT that you get. And in the image results, it was, a Seiya Japan one. And I thought, wait a minute, is the site
Is he
up or
back?
something? Yeah. And then I went, and still like password protected.
I don't know. I hope health wise everything.
I need that password, Seiya.
What if it's like a Willy Wonka situation where like if you can figure out the password and everyone has the same access to the if everyone has the same access to the clues for the password, but if you figure out the password, you too will become the next Seiya Japan. Like maybe like that's maybe that's how it works. So like,
yeah, it's for his replacement. Yeah,
it's for his replacement. Maybe it's for his replacement. Game on. I got a golden
like
Seiko. You know what I mean? Like maybe everyone check your last Seiya purchase. There could be a clue in there, like a word cipher.
It's one big ARG, augmented reality game thing. Yeah,
that was great. I'm very excited to see who gets crowned the next Seiya Japan. But yeah, no, my experience purchasing through Seiya Japan was amazing. Like, gets here super fast. The custom situation is very clear to me. I have no ambiguities about what to expect or not to expect, and so, but yeah, no, heck yeah, good wrist check. Should we talk about the lost episode? What do you want to do? Do you want to talk about the lost episode? I mean, you were just talking about your Miami trip, or should we talk about holiday stuff and then the lost episode?
Let's get into the lost episode a little bit first, because I think it'll be quick. We had a naughty time. YouTube called us naughty, basically.
I showed my nipples on air.
That wasn't it. But,
oh, good. I thought that was okay. Yeah, never mind. I thought that was
that made it through. That made it through. No issues. No issues on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you wouldn't be the only one on YouTube doing that.
There are dozens of us blasting our nips. There's more than dozens of us.
But we worked really hard on a concept episode, something different that we've never done before, and it ties into our love of music and guitar playing. And it was kind of a quirky idea. We talked about it for, I think, a few weeks before even trying it.
Yeah.
And it was pairing watches with guitar solos. And some people don't like when you some people don't like when you put copywritten music on your video, basically.
I will say it was one of the funnest episodes I remember us preparing for and doing in such a long time. I had so much fun doing that show.
Me too.
Michael chose I chose 3 solos and 3 watches, and then Michael, I think you had like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I had to cut back a little bit. Yeah.
I think what blew me away about that episode was the absolute range and breadth of the solo types and music types we chose.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't just choose like 5 Van Halen riffs or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Here's the watch for Panama. Yeah.
Listen, we're just going to play Panama for an hour and a half, and we're going to hold up a series of photos of watches we thought were funny, and you guys are going to like it or whatever. Like, no, I won't say much here, but we chose solos and songs and genres of music that I think were very special just to us, and we paired them with watches, and it was so much fucking fun. And I remember as we were getting ready and putting the episode together after recording, I can't remember if you reached out or if I reached out to you, and I was just like, hey, how's that work with that copywriting strike thing?
Yeah, it was me, because they do those checks at the very end of the upload, and it was the first time I got like the red X or something.
I was like, well, how do all these React videos do it? How do these motherfuckers put their shit out there?
I know,
like,
right?
It's just like, oh, I'm going to react to all of Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like, how are they not getting? So listen, Michael and I are a bunch of illiterate YouTube, rubes. So I'm sure all of you folk back home who are more appropriately accustomed to YouTubing are just like, guys, actually, you have to do. We don't fucking know. So it's living in the penalty box right now. Henceforth, episode 282 will never see the public light of day. In my opinion, one of our best episodes ever will never be publicly available. Unless you sign up for emails. That's the only way I can think to get the episode out. We cannot publish it. I'll tell you, there's, it's because of 2 or 3 specific songs we chose. And like, after they got copyright struck, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Knowing that the artist, yeah, that totally makes sense. I don't know why I didn't think that wasn't going to work. But here's the thing. We don't want to just pretend like episode 282 doesn't exist, because we want to do another watches and guitar solo episode at some point in the future. And so regardless of what happens, however the earth shifts and the winds change, the first guitar solo and watch episode will forever be 282. So I want to do other ones once we figure out how to fucking do them. But in the meantime, if you have already signed up for our newsletter, which you can go and get access to on our website, twobrokeWatchSnobs.com, you can find the sign up for it on the homepage, or if you just go to any page on twobrokeWatchSnobs.com in like a private browser, you'll get prompted to sign up for the newsletter or whatever. We haven't actually sent out the first newsletter yet, but here's what's going to happen. If you have already signed up for the twobrokeWatchSnobs.com newsletter, you're going to get a welcome email soon. The episode will be in that welcome email. So episode 282, the Two Broke Watch Snobs podcast, will be featured in the welcome email for the newsletter, never to publicly see the light of day.
I'm excited. Yeah,
I'm sad. I'm sad we can't share it with everyone.
For a moment, I was like, do I have to do Vimeo or something, or like?
Yeah,
Rumble.
dude. Rumble. Dude, let's just do it. Let's just do Vines. Is Vines still around? Can we just break it up into Vines?
Just 400 different Vines that kind of make up the episode.
Yeah, dude. We'll call it The Jungle, man. It'll be awesome. and then we'll have to choose Welcome to the Jungle on like a future episode and make some kind of weird callback joke. But
there's some pretty good guitar work.
Say what you want about Slash. He has kind of become a caricature, and then those Volkswagen commercials came out or whatever. But like, honestly, if you really pay attention, especially during the time and place musically when, Guns N' Roses came out, there's some pretty cool guitar work happening. Like
I had that Volkswagen.
could you really plug into it? Was it really like an amp built into it, or was that just bullshit?
I signed up and bought a car, and then they gave me a guitar at the dealership.
They gave you a guitar. What did they give you?
It was a first act. It was a first act that played.
Isn't that where there's like doesn't it come in like a box with like a 10-watt amp? Isn't that like a
No,
am
you
I thinking of a different guitar?
Well, they do stuff like that, but this one it came with a cable, a 1/4 inch on one end and 1/8 inch on the other end, where you like open the glove box and you can plug into the car. And it sounded horrible because the guitar was half concrete, half cardboard. It was which is crazy because First Act can make some good stuff. Like their custom.
It's just
guitars.
made of like refused egg cartons and shit.
Yeah, it was a really. I think I gave that thing away on Craigslist or something, or like $50 or whatever. But that was a cool little. The car was whatever. It was like it was the first year they brought back the Rabbit.
Rabbits. That's what it was. Yeah.
That was the VW that I got, and I don't have that anymore.
But to your point, there is some pretty good guitar work in some of that early GNR stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll make a future Watches and Guitar Solo episode. I don't know. Yeah. But either way, episode 282 will henceforth live in purgatorial bliss in our newsletter welcome email.
See, guys, we are consistently making content. We promise.
Yeah, that would have been the first episode of the new year.
Yeah, I was excited.
Oh, what a great fuck that. God damn it, copyright strike. How the fuck do people do reaction videos and like soloing over? Because I watch a lot of solo stuff on YouTube, and they'll play the song in the background. Like, how are they not getting copyright struck?
Yeah, I don't know. We're bad at the internet.
We're so bad at the internet, which I find really funny. But yeah, so that's the Tale of the Lost episode. If you've already opted in, if you've already signed up for the newsletter, keep an eye for the welcome email. If you haven't, and if you like guitars and watches, and you're one of the folks that always ask us to talk more about guitars, go and sign up. You'll get it too. And then when you hear the episode, you'll hear one or two solos and be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know exactly which songs."
Yeah,
I know exactly which songs got copyright struck. Oh man, that's so good. But here, let's do this holiday watch spotting. You and I both had travel holidays. I went on a cruise. I went on a Disney cruise. You and I are going on a cruise this year. It's happening.
Finally. I just have to rewind back to 2018 and listen to episodes where we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's finally going to happen.
It's finally going to happen. Keep an eye out, folks. We're not going to tell you anymore because we don't want you stalking us, but keep an eye out. It is going to be a good time.
You're going to see photos of us tanning together.
Mm-hmm. We're going to do like the arm locking ice cream sharing thing because they have ice cream on the ship. You know what I'm saying?
Our wives neglected somewhere else.
I was going to say, we're going to make our wives like take pictures of us like doing that. There is watch shopping. So we're going to be on the Disney Wish. There is watch shopping on the Disney Wish. I can talk about my experience doing that.
Yeah, that's alien to me. So I'd like to hear more about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Miami, which has become, it already was kind of a watch mecca sort of place, but ever since the design district became what it is, it got really out of hand. And I think I noticed it when I started to see what people were just walking around wearing. That is the total opposite of what you get in the Puget Sound area, like Seattle, Tacoma.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah,
right.
So
did you see Bezos walking around?
I didn't see Bezos, but I saw some Bezos watches for sure.
So how do you want to do this? Do you want to hear about my cruise first? Do you want to talk about, because I know you have a Grand Seiko story now.
I have a Grand Seiko story. I also went on like a little watch mandate with a buddy over
Do you remember the Seabold building? The Seabold building. Do you remember that place?
Yeah.
Did you go there?
I didn't go there, but that place is crazy.
I wonder if it's still there.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. There are people there that are just going to do what they do forever. Gosh, I'll never forget seeing a Hulk together for under,
I was going to say,
for under MSRP, and both of us thinking, it's all right.
We didn't know. We were so young. Oh, dude.
We didn't know. So poor.
We were so young and so poor. I think those are the two qualifiers that really should
I don't
be
think we could
latched
have been
next to
there and
each
thought
other.
like, hey, 7K, not bad. I mean,
Let's
it's not
do it.
not bad now.
Not bad now. Well, yeah. Maybe we should make a version of Back to the Future where it's not finding out the outcomes of like games. It's like finding out the outcomes of like prices of watches. So like
Yeah.
we just go back to the future and buy a bunch of like stainless steel Submariners for like $400, and then
Yeah.
you just put them in a safe and just wait on them.
If I had a time machine, dude, yeah, we could be solving world hunger. It's like, no, just give me the Daytonas.
Just give me. I could really knock out cold fusion and solve world hunger, but you know what?
Yeah.
I really think we can make this Rolex thing make sense.
I'm back in the 80s. I've got a phone with Chat GPT, but give me give me the Daytonas. Oh, man.
That's fucking awesome. But yeah, so yeah, how do you want to do it, man? Do you want to tell everyone about your time? You want? I'm more than happy to talk about my time.
Walk me through the cruise, because that's still such an area, like a gray area for me. I don't even know how that works.
So this past January, my family and I, we went on a Disney cruise. We are avid Disney cruisers, but we have not been since COVID. We were Michael and I, you and I were supposed to go on a cruise. Then COVID happened, and then around the time when we felt a little more comfortable sailing, then we were expecting, and we don't cruise when you're pregnant. You can, but I wouldn't. And then we wanted to wait till our kid was a little bit older, and now they're like, almost 2, and so we're like, okay, let's do it. And so this was our first cruise in a long time. It was our 5th Disney cruise. And so avid Disney cruisers, and we went on the Disney Wish, which is the second newest ship in the Disney fleet of cruise ships. It's the 5th Disney ship. It's the magic, the wonder, the fantasy, the dream, the fantasy, and then the 5th is the Wish, and the treasure is the 6th, which launched over Christmas 2024. And so there's always been watch shopping on cruise ships. We have a piece on our website where I go through a little bit of the watch shopping experience on the Disney Fantasy. There's some videos in there, took some photos. I talked to the sales rep in there, super, super nice. And so it's not any different on the Disney Wish. So the watch shopping that occurs on these ships, it's not like it's a boutique or anything like that. Usually they're ADs who I'm pretty sure, this is the one on the Disney Fantasy. They're ADs, and I'm pretty sure it's all through like Diamonds International. Diamonds International as like a broker of stone or whatever. Diamonds International also has a watch presence in Disney Springs, in the Walt Disney World Resort area, in a brick and mortar store called Luxury of Time. So all that's to say, there's not like an Omega store on a Disney ship or like a Breitling store. It's one area usually where there's multiple brands that are represented. Sometimes they're split up. On the older ships, they're split up. I think we talked about that last time. But on the Disney Wish, it's technically 2 spaces. So let me think how to start. The brands that you will find on the Disney Wish, at least that I found when I was there, it was Omega, it was Cartier, it was Hublot, Panerai, Tag, Breitling as well. And this was honestly the most surprising thing, Michael. The Disney Wish had a used Rolex, pre-owned Rolexes.
It's crazy.
Fucking weird. I have never seen... motherfuck, excuse me. I've never seen pre-owned Rolex on a ship. And there were Citizen watches, but they weren't a part of these like luxury watches. They were in a separate store. So obviously, because of the Disney and Citizen current partnership right now, no Invictas.
Let's get Invictas.
There were no Invictas, unfortunately, on the Disney
so
Wish.
Funny.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it might change, but oh man, that's really interesting. That's cool. If you're not watching on YouTube right now, go and watch on YouTube. Michael is looking at the post that we did from the Disney Fantasy. I took a bunch of photos, and I didn't take any photos in the Wish because I had 2 totally opposite fucking experiences.
You had a you had one Miami Bal Harbor experience.
You remember that guy in Bal Harbor
Yeah.
over at the Torno, I think it was.
We broke his brain.
Fucking what a fucking crock of human filth, man. What a fucking piece of shit, dude. So this is a new piece of human filth. So I'm on the ship with my family. It's my wife and it's my son. My son's like a year and a half. So if you have a year and a half year old, you know basically how they are. My kid's generally pretty well behaved. You know, I especially if I'm holding him, if I'm holding his hand, he's pretty chill. My first experience, at least watch exploring or like trying to watch explore on the Disney Wish, was fucking horrible. I literally almost didn't want to go back because I just walked in there. I walked in there with my kid, and then the guy that was working the floor was standing behind like a little desk. He sees me walk in with my kid, immediately stands up, walks up to us, and very politely goes, "Oh, sir, I'm sorry. You'll find kids' activities on the other side of the promenade," which is the politest way I've ever been told to go fuck myself. Like, I didn't get to say anything. He didn't ask me if there was anything he could do, or he just like, "Oh, so you'll find kids." Just because of the presence of my fucking kid, he wasn't like yelling. He wasn't, flinging shit all over the place. He wasn't even like holding food. He was just looking around because he's fucking 1.5. Everything's new. And so he's just looking around at this new room or whatever, and this guy just like walks up, and I literally just go like, "Oh, okay, later, dude." I just like turned around and walked out, and then Becky was like, "Oh, what happened?" And I'm like, "Oh, this fuckwad just basically wants me to come back and slit his throat." And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Because he fucking I just got told to go fuck myself." In the politest way possible. It's like, dude, I don't know what year you think it is, but you can go luxury watch shopping with your kid. If I can go luxury watch shopping in Miami in a banana hammock with zinc on my nose, I can fucking go watch shopping holding my kid.
I will confirm that you can do that.
Can confirm, won't relive. Next song. And so I was just I tried to just like shake it off because I'm just like, whatever, I'm on vacation. That guy can fucking, go fuck himself or whatever, jump off the ship. I don't give a crap. And so later that evening, my son's asleep, and Becky's like, "Oh, I'll stay with him if you want to go and just like explore the ship." And I'm like, "Oh, sweet, rock and roll. I'll go just like walk around or whatever." So I'm walking around. I got a drink. It's a beautiful ship, Michael. You'll see when we go later in the year. It's a absolutely gorgeous ship. The overall feeling, the ethos of the Disney Wish, it's designed to sort of embody this sense of like the Disney like princesses. So it's very castle-like. There's lots of beautiful shapes, light blues, light colors, lots of glitz and glam and things like that. Nothing really too gaudy or anything like that, but it's a very, very beautiful ship. And so you'll see when we go. So I'm walking on the ship. I have a drink in my hand, and I'm just like, and I look at my watch, and I was wearing the Seamaster. I was wearing my Court Seamaster, the Goldeneye 2541. I look at my watch, and I'm like, oh shit, the watch place is still open. I'm like, let's fucking go back there. Let's go back there, not with my kid. And if I see that guy again, I'm just gonna tell him how he made me feel, because like that was really fucking dumb. Like, you're on a Disney ship.
Yeah.
If I was on like a no, you can't bring kids on Virgin cruises. Let's just say for some reason I snuck my kid onto a Virgin cruise or whatever, and I walked into a shop. Yeah, sure. You can maybe give me some shit for bringing a kid in. Yeah. But like, it's a fucking Disney cruise.
They're literally everywhere.
The watch store, Michael, is literally located right across from Tiana's Bayou. All right? Where you can get beignets and listen to live music. Oh, but don't bring kids in here. Fucking piece of shit, dude. So I walked back in the place. I didn't see that guy. The guy wasn't there, but there was another guy there who I later learned was the manager. And he was like, "Oh, hey, good evening. How's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, it's going pretty good. I tried walking in earlier, but I had a weird experience with the person that was here before." He was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, feel free to walk around. Just let me know if you have any questions." I'm like, "Okay." So that's when I finally got to look around. They actually had a lot of stuff. It was the first time in person I saw those Panerai. How do you say it? The 40 millimeter ones.
The duos,
Duos?
the slim ones.
Duos, the
Yeah,
slim ones. Yeah, first time I saw those in person,
nice.
they had a shit ton of Cartiers. I got to go and play with some Cartier um, mediums and some larges in the different colors, the green and the blue and shit like that. And so, the Cartier Santos, excuse me. And so it was just a great experience, like just doing that. And then after a few minutes, the guy that was there, like I said, I later learned he was the manager. It's really funny. I know they're trained to do this, and I know he doesn't actually care. It's like thinking a prostitute really likes spending time with you. I know it's not real, but it's sometimes just nice to hear the words. Like
Yeah.
he and I are there, and then he goes, "Hey man, I just gotta say, that is a really sweet Bond Seamaster." And I was just like,
I feel so loved.
"Thank you." I feel so lost. No one's ever said that to me that didn't like already, I obviously I'm just like, oh yeah, thanks, great eye. But in my mind, I'm like, take me,
Yeah.
take me, watch person. I'm yours.
Where do I
Wrap
sign
up
up for the Where do I sign up for the financing?
Yeah, I'll finance 2 fucking gold encrusted or jewel encrusted Big Bangs. I don't give a fuck, dude. You just big bang my heart in a submission, bro. Thanks. I feel seen, dog. And so, but like that, I mean, that was that in regards to like watch shopping, like that's it. Like there's a lot of stuff there. I later learned the guy that I first encountered was, he was new and in training.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that's an excuse or what, but, I shared my feedback with the manager when I was there, and hope that made its way down to where it needed to go or whatever, because you're on a fucking Disney ship, dude. So sorry.
Yeah.
But it was also really, really cool. I don't know if this is possible, Michael, but maybe we try to buy watches on our cruise.
Would be fun to get something something cool. Maybe that's when you get an eco drive.
Maybe that's when I get an eco drive. Well, I was thinking, what if we got, I'm trying to think of the cheapest watch possible.
That's why I was pitching Invictus.
We could get a couple of Tag F1 quartz models.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
Right? Well, because so here's the thing. There's no discounts. There's no, is there any room on this? The only thing is the store is only open when you're out at sea, and it's duty free, which means no taxes. And so I honestly can't think of a lot of situations where that's worth it unless you have a brand that holds its secondhand value really well. And the only one that I could think of, just in the research that I've done, because I'm personally very interested in this watch, I would buy a Cartier Santos. I would buy a Santos on the ship, because every time I look for a used like Santos medium, it's not that far off from just full retail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So depending on how the math broke down, if I saw a Cartier model that I liked on the ship, and if I had $7,000, which I don't, clearly, because I keep going on these fucking Disney cruises, the thing is, I would plan in advance, and I would save with the anticipation of doing it on the ship.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't know if I would buy a watch on the ship. Or here's the wild card. I actually didn't have a lot of time to actually look in the pre-owned Rolex window. That's the only wild card. You might find something interesting in there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You said it's diamonds in, that was the thing that I didn't get. Was it the brands and the brand boutiques themselves operating in the ship, but they're operating through a partner?
Exactly.
Okay.
So these are not. So yeah, that's the huge thing. If you go there, and if you're big Disney folk like my wife and I, and you're used to, depending on the situation, like a really nice, hospitable, elevated cast member experience, you walk into one of these watch places, you're not talking to a cast member. Like you're talking to a third party vendor contractor. That shouldn't impact anything in regards to your actual experience. Well, I mean, maybe it does if that person fucking hates kids and you walk in there with your kid or whatever for some reason. But just know that. So like for the most part, depending on the situation, I don't know if it makes sense to buy something on the boat unless it's something rare and you don't see it very often and you're like, fuck, I've been looking for that forever. I'll take it.
That's the dream, dude, is to like,
Mm.
and it probably won't happen with a used Rolex or something, but I always kind of wonder because there was a period right before all the gray market Rolex shortage stuff started to happen, and I went to the one authorized Rolex boutique in Cartagena, Colombia, and
Mm.
they had everything. They had the black sub, they had the black and the white
Wow.
Explorer 2. I think they had a GMT, and it was just right there. You could walk out MSRP. And
Wow.
little did I know we would find ourselves in the world of gray market Rolex as it stands in 2025. But yeah, that's the dream. Like on a cruise or something, I don't know. Nobody has seen it for some reason, and it's
You know what
there,
I'm
and you can
saying?
finally get it.
You never know, because the thing is, like, I they put those watch places in there usually for folks
Drinking all day.
exactly like I was doing. It's the end of the day, my family's gone, I got a drink in my hand. I'll go look at some watches, because the thing is, more often than not, not usually, but I think the situation sometimes is a lot of cruise ships also have casinos.
I was about to ask. Yeah.
The Disney ships do not have casinos on them
Okay.
at all. There's the closest thing to gambling is bingo.
Okay.
They have bingo on the ship, which is a big fucking deal. Like it is a big deal to play bingo. Like
I'll start some
on
bets. Yeah.
on the ship. People lose their shits over that. It's really funny. I mean, you'll see when we go. It's really funny. We can play if you want, actually.
Yeah.
And so, but on on the Disney ship there is no gambling. But on other ships, if there is gambling, sometimes people spend serious money at the casino and they don't always know how to keep track of the math. So, like in their minds, if they spend $2,000 to make $1,500, they might think, "Oh my god, I won $1,500. I should buy that sweet tag I saw upstairs." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they'll just go, they'll buy. That doesn't happen on the Disney ship. So I don't know, other than people just sort of like walking around, maybe getting a little drunk and being like, "Who watches?" I don't know who's buying these watches on the
Yeah.
Disney ship. I didn't ask. Oh, I will say, so the Disney Wish has the Star Wars Hyperspace Lounge, which is the first Star Wars themed lounge at sea. I don't know. Do with that whatever the fuck you will, because there's a lot of opportunities, I guess, for Star Wars themed lounges at sea. But what's particularly noteworthy about the Hyperspace Lounge on the Disney Wish is that it features a $5,000 drink experience called the Kyber Crystal. So the Kyber Crystal comes in like a big cooler. It's one cocktail, and then it's a flight of a bunch of different really rare, like there's like a really rare Japanese gin in there. There's a cognac there. There's like a Pappy Van Winkle or whatever the fuck, like bourbon or whatever the fuck. I don't really know. I don't know anything about this stuff, but it's a $5,000 drink, and so just to give you perspective, maybe people are spending a bunch of money at the watch store, because I was in the Hyperspace Lounge and I was drinking like you're supposed to do, and I asked the bartender. I was like, hey, like, no bullshit, do you actually sell this $5,000 drink? He's like, actually, yeah, we do sell it. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, last month we sold 76.
That's
I'm
crazy,
like,
dude.
are you fucking me? Are you holding my head down in the bar right now and fucking my ears? 76? 76.
Oh, wow.
Let's do some math. Hold on, I don't have a calculator. I'm not good at numbers. Let's do some fucking math. Let's
I'll
do
do it
math
real
together.
quick.
Math is fun.
76 times 5,000.
76.
That's $380,000.
Whoo. Oh, and they attach 18% autograt.
Of course they do.
So it's what is that, like an extra 1,000 or extra $800 or $900
per one they sell, yeah.
So let's just call it 5,800 times 76, $440,000 in a month people spent on one drink. With that knowledge, maybe someone goes and stumbles into the watch store and spends $5,000 or $10,000 on a watch. Maybe it's not that.
Quartz tag is nothing after that.
Because I'm spending $5,000 on, you don't even get to keep anything. You don't get to keep the cooler. Well, no, you get to keep it. Like, they give you like a couple of silver cups or whatever. But like, I'm spending $5,000 to take a very, very expensive piss in the morning, as opposed to me spending $5,000 on a watch that I could probably have for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know, like, how much do I want my pee to cost? Is really, I think, the question you should ask yourself when you start pricing out cocktails.
Seriously, man. Wow.
So that blew my mind. That blew my fucking mind. Go and look up videos on YouTube. It's pretty cool. Like, the actual experience is cool. Like, they do. And like, there's other perks. Okay. Well, the main perk is you do get a private tour of the Skywalker
Ranch.
The Skywalker Ranch.
That's, I don't know.
But it's not, the thing is, it's not like it's not designed specifically to accommodate guests. I think it's just a sound stage and a vending machine. Like, I don't think it's fun. Like, I don't think it's like a tourist destination.
I don't know. Like I told you,
there's no real Ewoks there.
Yeah,
you know?
There's some sound studio stuff that I might be interested in seeing, but nothing else.
Like, unless someone's been and they've seen like an Ewok serving drinks, then yeah, I would fucking send me a picture, dude. Shit,
worth it.
You know,
yeah,
totally worth it.
That's cool, man.
But yeah, that was the Disney Wish. In terms of on folks' wrists, a lot of the normal stuff. You know, saw a lot of Submariners, saw a lot of Apple Watches. Nothing crazy. But for me, the big thing was just the actual going in the actual store. Yeah, the two stores there.
Well, seeing that, what you explained right now, like Submariners here and there, like that usual is not the usual for me anymore.
No,
in terms of what I see here.
Watch spotting, what you see by your area is just totally different now, right?
Yeah, they're not into it here.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Which is why Miami, every time I go, is just it's a culture shock in so many ways, going back to where I was born.
Back to the homeland.
Dude, Miami has gotten so upscale in so many ways. The hospitality industry, especially there, has boomed like crazy. You know, it's the kind of place where you see Richard Mille taking out billboards, you know, because it's like, oh yeah,
wow,
we should advertise here because, you know, it's totally going to work here.
That's interesting.
Where Omega has to really like put their heads together and think, oh, should we get a billboard in like Bellingham, Washington? Maybe that'll make some kind of an impact. But yeah, if you put a Richard Mille billboard up in Miami, that totally makes sense because I guess people are just so into those types of watches there, and people with the means to get those watches, like a ton of them are living there and traveling there and doing business there. It's a completely different place right now than when I left it, and super crowded. First of all, driving.
It was already pretty crowded before.
Driving is completely bananas. I do have those moments when I go back and I am taken in by the glitz and the glamour and the South Beach and the downtown and all this design district kind of stuff. And I think, oh man, maybe it'd be fun to, I don't know, move back for a little bit. But then I come back home and think, nah, I don't know, dude.
That's that kind of stuff. It feeds into it hits something fundamental in our brains, and it makes it seem like, yeah, I want this. This is attractive. I don't know what it is, you know.
And the spotting that you do. So we stayed on the beach for like about a week or whatever. And of course, yeah, you see the Submariners everywhere. You see some Omega stuff. I saw Panerai. The craziest thing I saw, just walking around, just an FP Journe Chronometra Blue FP Journe.
Wow.
Just around. And that's not the kind of watch where you think to yourself, oh, like that person knows. Like, obviously,
yes. Yeah. With that brand or that maker, yes.
Yeah. And then the other wild thing that I saw, and I think this may be the first time I've ever seen this watch in person, somebody wearing it, was the platinum ice blue Daytona. Just
Whoa,
just
cool.
sitting down, and I had to like kind of like nudge my wife. I'm like, hey honey, that watch, by the way, cost this much. It's so hard to get. It's crazy.
I did it to my wife too, and she's always like, "Oh, okay, that's nice." I'm like, "Do you not understand
Yeah,
the gravity of what I'm trying to tell you right now?" Ah,
yeah. So Miami's totally different than what you find up here. It's all Apple Watch and New Balance and busted up Subarus. That's just the, you know, basically an evolution of a
what's
90s
wrong with New
Seattle.
Balance? I wear New Balance.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just kind of funny where like I feel like up here, the minute you sell your tech company to Microsoft or something, part of the deal is like they hand you a pair of New Balance. You become the tech dad.
That's
Uh
awesome.
and
They are
then
very dad shoe. I will say they're very dad shoey.
yeah. So but obviously the crown jewel for so long in Miami was that those Bal Harbor shops that we went
Hmm.
to that one time, and they had, I think they had Richard Mille, they had um, different boutiques that sold high end stuff, but really it's been taken that area has been taken over, I would say, by the Miami Design District. And
Yep.
I don't know how long ago it was, but just all the big brands decided, hey, this is where the boutiques are going. So you have FP Journe, you have Elang and Zon. Patek Philippe opened up a boutique in a historic post office that was in the
Oh
area,
wow,
and so
that's kind of cool.
they're in this super old post office style building, and we walked by, and my wife was like, "Oh yeah, let's go in there." It's actually by appointment only, so they won't. Yeah,
Can't just walk in. Damn
you
it.
can't just walk in, but it was pretty cool to see all that there in one spot. Omega, who else? I think there's a Tag boutique as well.
Grand Seiko's
And
there, or
Grand,
Seiko rather.
yeah,
Or wait,
Seiko.
is
It
it a
was
Grand Seiko boutique now?
it was Grand Seiko. It was Grand Seiko, and then there's also the big old Rolex boutique. The Rolex boutique was kind of funny because they have this kind of like velvet rope outside, so people like line up, and you kind of have to go to the door and be like, "Hey, can I
Like the
get in?"
Apple Store or whatever.
Yeah. They kind of build this sort of exclusivity into every aspect of the experience, which is kind of funny.
Hmm.
Like you feel like you're bothering them, and they want you to feel that way. So when I was there, kind of the fun part of the trip was meeting up with this. I've never said his name on the show, but we've talked about him. We've tried to study him because he for so long he he's a law guy, he's a lawyer, and he had this curiosity about watches. I've known him for a bit. He's married to one of my wife's close friends. They went to pharmacy school together, and he's that guy who just completely in a vacuum saw the Speedmaster and was like, "That's cool. I want that as my wedding watch."
Yep,
And
I
for so
remember.
long, that's the only thing that he had. Met up with him again a couple years ago. He got the ceramic Seamaster. He was telling me about Grand Seiko. I was like, "Dude, stop! You're
Stop.
so
I'm trying to
pure.
help you. You're
Why does
so
why
pure.
does snow, man? You got don't change." But he got bit by
That's
the watch
awesome.
bug, and so we went to have brunch at some stupid like Miami place where I think I bought a breakfast sandwich, I got a coffee, and then I think my wife got a smoothie, and it was like $50. It was
Yep.
crazy.
Was it
It's
good?
just, I guess. I mean, like, yeah, like, but damn, dude, that yeah, that was a shock in itself. But we met up together, just him, both of the wives,
Right.
uh, and he wanted to for the first time ever to take his Speedmaster to hand it in for servicing.
Cool.
So on the agenda was go to the Omega boutique, get that done. And it was kind of interesting because he's got the older one at this point with the 1861 movement. And he was kind of showing me that some kind of humidity started to develop under the
Oh,
crystal. And
Shit.
he's like, he walked in and he told him, hey, like, I don't know what it takes. This is my wedding watch. It's really important to me. And so he did the whole thing with he filled out the form, and it was after talking about it on the show and like just studying it and knowing
It's
about
full
him.
circle. It's so interesting.
Yeah, to be there when he handed it in for service was really, really cool. And we talked about the white Speedmaster, which they actually didn't have.
Hmm.
I was hoping to see the white Speedmaster, and I was hoping to see the new Speedmaster flight qualified thing that they came out with
Oh,
recently,
right.
but it wasn't there. But overall, like a really, really good boutique experience. And the other thing that he did was buy the mesh bracelet for his Seamaster. So
Oh,
he he
cool.
went in there with a plan. He went in there with a plan to hand in the Speedmaster, and then immediately he kind of put his Seamaster on and was like, "Hey, I want to get the mesh bracelet. Do you have it?" And they gave him the runaround. They said, "Oh, we don't really have it right now." So we left, and then they randomly called him as we were walking around, and they went, "Actually, we do have it. Come back, and
Oh,
we'll
that's
just
funny.
sell it to you and install it." So it really is like getting a whole new watch, by the way, when you put that watch on,
Wow.
that bracelet on that watch. So um next on the agenda was to kind of just meander into a couple of other boutiques. I did see the Panerai boutique,
Hmm.
walked in there, kind of opposite experience compared to what you had. I found everybody like super welcoming, minus the Rolex boutique, which I'll get into also. But Panerai was cool. They didn't have, the first thing I asked for obviously was if they had the Mono Pulsante, the GMT mono pusher chronograph, which is
Oh
old
yeah.
at this point. And she's like, "No, I know that watch. We don't really keep it here or whatever." Um, and then we tried to go into Rolex,
Hmm.
which this guy is still very Rolex curious. He hears about lists, people tell him about the whole waiting game or whatever, but he
Right.
doesn't go crazy into forums, and conspiracy theories on like artificial shortage and all of that. He just thinks like, okay, fine, how do I get on this list or whatever? um and the lady there was not nice,
Oh no.
and it was kind of sad. It was kind of sad to see like kind of a like everyday professional sort of dude that has this interest, and she's kind of just like, what do you want to do? You want a GMT? Like,
Right.
sure, I'll take your name down. Oh, by the
Wow.
way, you can only ever talk to me. If you get an email or something, it'll be me. You can't then say that you did this and go into another boutique and say that you're on a list. It's black
Wow.
magic at this point. It gets more and more and more convoluted.
Well, so
Um,
that kind of stuff, like, how are you supposed to? What sort of ecosystem are you looking to cultivate among your consumers and fan base that's
yeah,
sustainable? You can't just be dicks all the time.
you don't even have to worry about that when you have that level of brand power.
I mean, I
Honestly,
guess. Yeah, I guess. That
yeah.
stinks. That stinks. Was he bummed out after that?
He was like, "Yeah, it's weird," but basically, to kind of almost out of spite, we walked into he decided to walk into the Grand Seiko boutique.
Because they're close to each other. It's like just down like a little alley right after you turn. I'm trying to remember from where it was or something like that.
Yeah, it really is just down the corner. And we walked in there, and what was magical about it was there was nobody in there at that point. So that
Sweet.
that place, is like a closet. But if
Mm-hmm.
you got
It's
just
not
like
very big. Yeah.
two wives, two dudes in there, and then the guy selling, that's comfortable.
It's full. The store's full.
Yeah, the store's full. That's it. So we were just looking around. I got to see finally the quartz snowflake, which I've always wanted to see.
Oops.
I thought that watch was just one of my favorite releases of 2024.
Yeah.
Um, it's cool, man.
It's very cool.
I
37
wish
millimeters, right?
Yeah, I wish I could have walked out with that, but that would have been a stretch at that point. But
How much is that watch?
I mean, let's see, we wrote about it on the website.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall.
Snowflake.
Also, sorry for my lighting. The sun's going down, and now I'm just like yellow.
No, it's okay. It's the SBGX 355 and it is
Mhm.
3,800. And there might actually
Okay.
the dude there told me that Grand Seiko is going to be going through a price increase this year if they haven't already. So
Damn.
so the regular Snowflake I think is like
It's like
either
61 or 62, right?
dude, I think it's either at or above 7K
Good
now.
light. Good fucking Christ.
We're getting close. But he walked in there and he was looking at the white birch.
Mm.
So one of the nature series,
Oh yeah.
steel
Beautiful.
watches that they've come out with. And funny enough, we were talking about cars before, and he had this whole plan to get this, this new car or whatever, because he's been driving the same one since law school forever for his whole marriage. And he thought, okay, I was promoted recently, maybe I'll get a new car or something. That plan changed when he saw the white birch finally. So he kind of walked over to his wife and he's like, hey, I kind of think I'm going to do this and put the car on hold. She's like, all right, fine. So
Cool.
as
Glad
it
glad
was,
that was all cool.
dude, the salesperson, I don't know if he did this in my mind. I think that he did, or maybe I just think it would have been so cool. I think he locked the door, or like he kind of walked to the door, and
Interesting.
I don't know if he blocked it off. No, he wouldn't have locked it. That's crazy. Maybe that's just like me romanticizing the whole experience, but it
Well,
felt that way.
sometimes some places will do that, especially if he's the only person on the floor and if he's helping someone he knows is about to spend money. And then if someone else like walks in, you don't want to get into a scenario where someone's running interference and they try to like steal a watch while your back is turned. You know what I mean? So maybe he locked the door.
He was the only guy there. He was
So it's
he was the
possible.
There was no way to fit anyone else that worked for Grand Seiko in that space. He was definitely
Yeah.
the only dude there. Maybe that happened, maybe that didn't. I can't remember. But he showed us the white birch, and I guess there's a black dial version of the black birch or whatever. It was
Hmm.
titanium, and it was apparently the last one in the US. It was really, really cool. I like to make fun of those nature theme watches. I think we
Everyone
both
does. We
do.
all do.
But dude, when you see one and you see those dials, they had the spring, the cherry blossom one
Oh,
also.
the pink one, like blush kind of pink. Beautiful.
Dude, so good.
Totally beautiful. Yeah, I think if anything, I'm more making fun of the marketing for them. Like as objects, they're beautiful. They're beautiful objects.
Yeah. So he did it, man. He did it just on the spot. He said, "Okay, you have this one here on display. Do you have another one in the back that's untouched?" And the dude was like, "Let me check. Yep, I do." He brought it out. They they did the sale. He opened up the little cabinet. We were all served the Japanese whiskey and the sake
Yep.
and stuff. And it was a really, really pleasant experience just kind of being there, watching him walk out of Rolex, kind of upset about the way he was treated, and thinking, you know what, screw them, I'm gonna buy a Grand Seiko. And that thing is
Yeah.
not cheap. That's beyond like that's getting close to sub money, definitely
Yeah.
above like Explorer money, all that kind of stuff.
It's a beautiful watch, and now he has an amazing memory.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So I highly recommend that. The dude that helped us was really cool too.
Nice. Also, mad props to your friend for the baller move. I want one in the back that's been untouched.
Yeah. Yeah.
Untouched.
Yeah. And
That's
then
awesome.
I think, the dude gave us some like pens and stuff, like Grand
Yeah,
Seiko.
dude.
It was pretty fun. And it
Speaking of
made,
pens, do you know what I found recently?
oh, there it is.
the old Oris pen. This is a piece of TBWS history for people that have been listening since like episode 1 or 2, I think.
That's like the Kaz Horcrux.
It's the closest thing you're gonna get. That's so funny. Comment down below if anyone remembers the Oris pen. If you're listening on YouTube, comment down below.
You've been with us for a while.
You're OG TBWS, true OG TBWS. If you remember the story, of the Oris pen. So
Yeah.
that's all I'll say. But that's awesome, man. I'm glad your friend and his wife got to have that experience. I'm glad you got to experience that, like, as part of the group with him. And so that's cool.
Yeah, that service made me want to like get a Grand Seiko. And they had
Right?
I was a little disappointed they didn't have more of the 9F stuff. They didn't have
It's
any
not
of
very
the
popular, man.
they didn't have any of the 9F GMTs, for example.
Whoa.
I think maybe it was a poster. I can't remember if it was a poster, if it was there, but they may have had the tentograph thing. Maybe not. Maybe it was a poster.
I didn't like that thing.
That watch looks a little too wild.
It's just weird. It's like
and then
10 or 12,000 bucks.
And then he walked out. He's like, maybe I should walk back into Rolex and kind of like show him whatever.
That's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know?
But it was a cool little watch adventure. I thought the design district was going to be way stuffier, but really every boutique that we walked into was super welcoming. Sometimes, and I'm sure you've felt this before, depending on the AD or the boutique that you choose to walk into, the security person in the front might do the glance.
Oh yeah,
the wrist glance. Like, is that one of those G-Shocks? Yeah, you don't. But I didn't get any of that. And dude, yeah. Overall, Miami, the watch spotting, the watch shopping it feels like looks almost like a little Dubai at this point, with the kind of just the cars that you see, the watches you see, the freaking hotels. It's
probably what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, a great city if you want to feel horrible about your fitness and physique, because holy crap, do people keep up with themselves out there. I totally forgot. Kind of here you could just wear winter coats and gain weight and nobody
looks fine. That's awesome.
But
yeah, I haven't been recently, but I just remember even back then, like I had this, you'd see people running all the time, or you'd see people like in just doing something active or outside, and then you'd see people hanging out on the beach, just like ripped or just incredibly fit. Yeah. And you're just like, I'm just like, fuck, I'm just walking around like the brown ass Pillsbury Doughboy, just like eating a sandwich and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you just feel, but like that's Miami though, man. It's
dude, I gotta work on my deadlift game. Crap, dude. Jeez.
Just get the tentagram. I'm pretty sure it's heavy. Just to get the tentagram, and then every 2 days, or tentograph, whatever the fuck it's called, the stupid Seiko tentograph, and just wear it. Just alternate the arms each day as you wear it, and you'll get just two giant like bird arms. It'll be cool, man.
That'd be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. You know. Glad you had a good time though. Glad you saw some cool watches, but we should seriously think about making watch purchases on our cruise.
I am thinking about that now. It would be I think a quartz tag is such a funny cruise watch.
It's such a vacation dad watch, I feel like.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the catalog and what they have now, but that's not too unreasonable. I'd also like the idea of something, super budget friendly, like some kind of cool Citizen that I've never seen before.
We could check out the Citizen. I mean, like they had some cool ones. They didn't have a lot, but they definitely had some cool ones. So
or like those Annie Digi Star Wars ones that are Star Wars, but it doesn't look cheesy Star Wars. That could be cool.
I saw those there too. Those are cool. Well, then let's do this. Let's not hardcore try to overplan, because then we might build some kind of expectation. Let's maybe set a budget, and for ourselves, and if we see something, cool, and if we don't, that's okay.
Yeah. I also see the possibility of us kind of like migrating away from our wives and then like getting smashed and being like, yo, fuck the budget.
Dude, fuck the budget, man.
Swipe
I'm gonna buy a fucking Santos, dude. I'm gonna buy 2 Santoses and throw one over the fucking side of the ship. And there's gonna be one blinged out fish down there. Fuck yeah, fish.
And
it's gonna be wrist bros.
Trouble.
And we get in trouble, and then my wife's gonna throw me over the other side of the ship.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That should be cool. Now I know that between now and that time, I'm gonna be looking at some tags or something. Thinking
I mean,
thinking
yeah,
of the
think about
brands.
it.
Is there a
You know,
spot where you could see the list of brands, like on the ship site or whatever?
maybe.
It's also interesting that whole partner thing. By the way, I wanted to bring up. I walked into a Mayors, and I don't know when
Mhm.
this partnership happened, but Analog Shift slash Watches of Switzerland now sells inside of Mayors used stuff. So used
Wow.
Rolex. I saw used Patek and used A. Lange and Söhne. Like inside of a
Okay.
Mayors through Analog Shift Watches of Switzerland. That was,
How far we've come.
yeah,
Wow.
kind of wild.
That's kind of wild. And here you and I are still plugging away at the show. We're not selling in Mayors. Well, wait, if we sold in Mayors, what would we sell?
Um,
Strap tools? I sell a strap tool.
no, I would try to sell like those Benyar fake Daytona things. It's
Phaetona, bro.
yeah.
Sweet Phaetona, man. I'll tell you, my heart did a flutter when that guy said "Sweet Bond Seamaster." I was like,
He knows, man. He knows what
I
you need to hear as a
I
date.
know he's not really my friend. He's kissing me without smiling. He's just doing it because it's his job. I don't care. It felt good to hear, God damn it.
Yeah, man. That's cool.
Oh man. As soon as I left, he took my money and stuffed it in a sock drawer with the rest of the stupid, heavy wristed Johns. I don't fucking care. It felt good at the time.
Yeah.
All right.
That's pretty
Shout
cool.
out to you, bro. You know who you are. You listen to the show. You don't listen to the show.
He
That's
might.
too funny.
The dude at the Grand Seiko boutique knew about TBWS, so we got
That's
that
fucking
going.
funny.
We got that going.
And well, maybe that's why he locked the door. He's like, oh, maybe
Oh, sure.
maybe Kaz is out there. Oh, I gotta make sure he doesn't follow him too. Or maybe like lock the door and call the police. Don't keep
I did say that. I did say that I was Kaz. No, I didn't do that. Don't worry.
I have a purchase history there. That's where I bought my Blue Lagoon Samurai back in the day.
Hell yeah, man.
Too cool. But well, let's do this. Let's let the kids get back to it. I gotta go. I gotta start getting I help my family out with dinner. Man, it is so great to be back on air with you and the rest of the TBWS family. Everyone, I have to get the mic closer to my face. About 8 times out of 10, everyone, after we're done recording, Mike's only comment for me is stop moving my head and like stay facing my microphone. Because like sometimes I'll just be like, I don't know if I have to like tie myself down, but like I don't know if I fidget or what, but I'm just like,
You just got the wiggles, man.
I'm just looking around the room and shit. You know?
Just got the wiggles.
Just got the wiggles, dog. Fuck, dude. But it's amazing being back on air. I won't go too much into it because we're at time now, but like I had fucking salmonella for the past week, my wife and I, and it was fucking terrible. We were supposed to record a week ago and we didn't. And I physically and emotionally felt terrible and like a bad friend and like a bad podcaster and fucking just happy. I'm a bad podcaster. I'm fine with being a bad podcaster. I'm not too worried about that. A bad friend, I will not abide though. But it's great to be back on air and sorry about episode 282, everyone. Probably one of the best episodes I feel like we've done in a long time. We'll never see the light of day. If you want to see it, though, go and subscribe to the newsletter. It's part of the welcome email now. If you are already subscribed, no worries. You're going to get it when I send the welcome email out in a couple of weeks. Huge thank you to anyone that has subscribed to the newsletter. Also, if you enjoy watching us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Now that we're in the new year, we're going to start going through our video review process a little bit more and just trying to do more of these things just so you can see us, just because I know some folks like being able to like look at our screen share when we're talking about things, and we can kind of pull that shit up as well. If you're on Spotify, thank you so much. If you're on Apple, if you're on iTunes or whatever, actually, if you want to go and leave us a review, like an iTunes review or whatever, that would be super helpful actually for the show. If you like the show, if you don't like the show, I don't want to fucking hear from you. But if you like the show, go and leave a review. That would be pretty sweet. But that said, Michael, is it that sad time?
It's that sad time. Let's hope this episode makes it up.
Let's hope we don't get copyright struck for talking about I don't know what.
Disney. I don't know.
I did hum I Got a Golden Ticket. Is that going to get us copyright struck? But I did it in
Damn
the
it.
sense. I did it in the fashion of I got a golden Seiko when we were doing about to
I
say.
think we're fine. I'll censor it
Okay.
if anything. I'll put
Yeah.
royalty free music over your face. I don't know how that works.
just put music over my face, dude. Oh, fuck. All right. It's that sad time. I'll you start saying goodnight to the kids, and then I'll tuck them in. I'll get the light on the way out.
Thanks for listening, guys. My name is Mike.
And this is Kaz. You have been listening to Two Broke Watch Snobs. Later.